Hello, Southland. It's time once again for Pickup Parley. Hey, guys. Just giving you an update of what's going on with the Mexican fat surgery. I am in my pickup, my wonderful studio pickup, but I wanted to give you all an update of what's going on with surgery. I had my surgery 9 days ago. Last Monday, today's Wednesday, so it'll be 9 days. So I'm 9 days post-op. Went and had my stitches removed by a friend of mine today, and everything's healing great. Everything looks great. I took antibiotics for 6 days, 7 days, whatever it was, till I finished them. They were nasty. I had to take them by liquid, no pills. Ugh, gross. But anyway, I had that, and then they gave me Toradol, which is a light pain medicine. It's not over the counter, but it's, it is what it is. I had to take just a few of those, 3, I think, maybe is all I ended up taking. I was really sore the first week, especially when I got hiccups, and maybe I drank water a little too fast or something like that, and I'd get a hiccup, and it'd be like on this left side. It started out actually on both sides. Get a hiccup, and it'd feel like just like two knives sticking in both sides. Just and then after a day or so, day and a half or something, the right side, which I don't know how that it looks to the camera, but anyway, on my right side, that kind of went away, and then it was still that stabbing every time you get the hiccups on the left side. And then that has slowed down tremendously. I mean, it still hurts when you get a hiccup, but it's just like a pain. It's not really a stabbing pain, so that's okay. Last week was purely liquids. I meant no yogurt or anything like that. This week, I've added yogurt per the schedule. I've added yogurt, and I've added some sugar-free pudding, which... Tip for all you people out there who's trying to lose weight and you want to get your protein in, plain Greek yogurt is really good for that. It's got a lot of protein in it. What I do is I add sugar-free pudding to that. Just get the little cups of sugar-free pudding, a couple of tablespoons of the yogurt, swirl that together. The sugar-free pudding, which I find a little too sweet by itself, makes the yogurt far more palatable. So what you're doing is you're not getting any sugar necessarily. You're not getting the actual sugar. You're getting some carbs, but you're not getting actual sugar. And then you add that to the yogurt, makes the yogurt more palatable. You get a lot of protein in, and it just is a whole big thing, and it works really well. So my suggestion is, if you're trying to lose weight, that's a good way to do it. Replace one of your meals with some Greek yogurt, plain. Make sure it's plain, because if you add any kind of flavoring to it, it's going to automatically add a bunch of carbs. Add your own flavoring, and then add the sugar-free pudding. Flavors it, makes it palatable, and it's a really good source of protein. So that's my suggestion. A little tip from your old Uncle Kev there. And then next week, starting next Monday, I'll be able to go into pureed food. Which is, I'll be able to do some cream of chicken and cream of mushroom soup, and I'm going to do a vegetable beef soup that I seen a recipe for, and I'm going to overcook it in the crock pot. Make sure everything is very tender and fall apart kind of stuff, so overcooked. You wouldn't want to eat it that way normally, and then let it cool, and then I'm going to put it into a blender. Puree it. Of course, I have to eat slow, because even when the pureed stuff starts, I'll have to eat over a 30-minute time period. So now, let me tell you all about this. The meals will only be 4 to 6 ounces. Now, think about that for just a minute. 4 to 6 ounces. If you take a regular ice cream, ice tray, ice cube tray, just typical ice cube tray. Each one of those ice cube wholes is about 1 ounce. So you're talking about 4 of those to 6 of those is a meal. It's not a lot. Not a lot at all. And you have to eat that over 30 minutes. And I intend to do that. Don't get me wrong. But I'm just saying there's not a lot there. And I won't be even into solid foods until December. So I've got a ways to go yet. And yes, that means during Thanksgiving, it's still going to be pureed food. So I think about the closest thing I'll be able to eat there will be a few bites of mashed potatoes. And that's about it. Maybe chew something pureed in my mouth and chew something down until I can eat maybe a bite of something. But it won't be much. Normally, I go in and order a steak. I'm getting a ribeye, 12, 14, 16 ounce ribeye, baked potato, salad, bread, appetizer a lot of times. It's a hell of a difference. It's a big difference. So, it's all about managing my protein, staying away from carbs, that sort of thing. They want you to stay away from fat. I'm not worried about fat. I'm worried about caloric intake, and I'm worried about sugars. Those are my 2 things. That's what I'm worried about. Other people, talk about diets and talk about other things like that. Well, I can tell you right now that a low-fat diet may work for you, but it won't necessarily work for me. And a low-sugar diet may work for me and may not necessarily work for you. So you have to find your own path, and it's not necessarily a one-size-fits-all kind of thing. You can't paint everybody with the same brush. So I want to get to on the other side of all this, when I do have everything settled surgically wise and everything's healed and I'm back to work and I'm not having any issues there and all that sort of thing, what I want to do is to eat clean. And by eating clean, my intention is to drink one of these protein shakes. I'll drink a protein shake. I work nights, so on my way to work, I drink the protein shake. That's my plan. And you have to sip it. It takes me about 45 minutes to get to work, so 45 minutes to drink the protein shake. Then when I get to work, when I get hungry, my intention is to fix a piece of protein, fish, chicken, beef, pork, whatever, doesn't matter, venison, any kind of meat, and some nice green vegetables of some kind. That's a big deal. So that's what I want to do. That's how I want to eat clean. And then the way my work schedule goes is every other weekend I'm off for 3 days. So on that 3-day every other week, so every 2 weeks, I want to allow myself a junk meal. So like if I want to go eat something that I don't normally eat, something with bread in it and that sort of thing, or maybe have some popcorn at a movie or something like that, I'm going to do that. So that's my end goal, to maintain a weight. But right now, still doing the liquid diet, added the Greek yogurt this week. Next week, be pureed food, and then after that, I'll start adding some more solid food. Of course, I got to chew, and all the way through that whole thing. I was going to give an update on my weight today. I started out at 419, and I went to my doctor before I went down to Mexico, and I got a baseline exam. I got the blood drawn and all that stuff, and weighed in at I think it's 396 or something like that. So 396 from 419 is like 22, 23 pounds, whatever it was. 20-something pounds that's what I'd lost pre-op, which they didn't require me to lose it, but I just did it on my own because I did the pre-op diet for nearly 4 weeks. I mean, and I stuck to it. I mean, I was proud of myself. I stuck to that sucker. And it was hard to do, but I stuck to it. And so I'm sticking to this diet. I also got a thumb drive that I gave to them, and they videotaped my surgery, which was pretty cool. And graphic warning here, graphic warning. I'm going to put up about 30 seconds or so of this video. Let's talk about the first one, and we'll put it up right here. So you should be seeing it right above my shoulder here. You see they're taking the little pair of, I'm going to call it cauterizing scissors. And what they're doing here is they're pulling my stomach up, and this fat had adhered to the stomach, and they're cauterizing the fat away from that stomach, and then as they get little bleeders and stuff, they cauterize that. Okay. Then, on this video, they took a bigger pair of scissors, and if you see, they're putting the stomach in there, and then when he clamps down on that, watch the top of it as it goes across. It has movement on it, and then when he lets go, it's already sewn, which was really cool. But he told me before the surgery that he would go through and hand sew it. He said, you can trust those sutures that are put in there by the machine, but he said, I don't necessarily trust it. And here you see a video of him sewing that part up, and what he did is he went below and above the suture made by the machine, and he stitched all the way around to the other end, and he pulled it tight, and he tied it off. And he told me that would reinforce that suture thing, reduce the probability of a leak, and it would also reduce the size of my stomach. But he said because it'll be, after you take the stomach out, about 30%, and then he said once I get done suturing, you'll be down to about 25%, 4 to 6 ounces. So that's where I am. That's what's going on. And as soon as I weigh somewhere, I went and had my stitches taken out this afternoon. I went ahead and had a friend of mine who's a doc. He looked at them and he said, yeah, they're fine to take out. So a friend of mine took them out. No problems, no bleeding, nothing like that. Everything's looking like it's healing up great. In fact, I have a spot on my stomach that I actually had a reaction to some adhesive from the Band-Aid brand Band-Aids. And I'm no disparaging remarks against Band-Aid. They were fine. They stuck really good. But I had some kind of reaction to that adhesive, and it tore my skin a little bit. That part's actually more tender than the surgical part, really. Doing good. So that's my update, folks. And I guess until next time, it's going to be deuces and duck lips.